So, with the release of WaffleWasHere 7, we're introduced to two new IDs that are Hanafuda Ishmael and Alan Gregor. In today's video, we'll be discussing about Hanafuda Ishmael, dissecting her kit, best teams, and best egos. So, if it wasn't obvious by now, Hana Ishmael is a tremor and sinking unit. Her main role is literally just a damage dealer, as she cannot support for Her kit introduces card statuses which buffs her their respective sin affinity. So, from what I read, she's a balance between tremor and sinking, however, much of a tremor leading ID. Aside from her statuses, she's also a generalist.
Now let's hear her pros. She's a great generalist and has great damage output. Her infliction is good in both her statuses, and her second skill 3 can hit extremely hard on max bright potency. And now moving on to her downside. Her status infliction is outclassed by two older units. They are Molar Ishmael for sinking and LCCB Ishmael for tremor. I'll go about this in depth later on.
So, as a tremor and sinking unit, Hanafuda Ishmael has a lot of egos that you can synergize with. So, starting from title Elegy, the ego synergizes very well with her since it has both tremor and sinking. Alongside that, it deals very good damage from the additional gloom damage. Moving on to the second one, Christmas Nightmare Ishmael has great count infliction and is also able to do 3 tremor bursts. Overall, a nice damaging ego. And the last one being Bygone Days. It's a nice healing ego with a side of 3 sinking count. Honestly, pretty great to have if you're running her on a sinking team. Since Ishmael can generate a suit which boosts one of her skills based on what color the suit is, she has several egos to manipulate that wanted suit. For Blue Sakura suit, you would want a Gloom ego for that. Thankfully, there are 4 options: Title Elegy, Bygone Days, 100-footed Death Maggots, and her base ego. For Pinecone suit, you need Rat egos. So the only one Ishmael has are Arbor Blossom Star and Capote, or Capote. I don't know if I pronounced that really. As for Suzuki Grass suit, she only really has Christmas Nightmare, as Ishmael has no other slot egos. In comparison to Molar and LCCB Ishmael, both the units I mentioned are usually better when it comes to dispensing count. So if you desperately need count, it's better to just not run Hanafuda at all. Sinking has Molar Ishmael, which is always available to Shard, although there is Solemn Misen, who is also a count dispenser, and LCCB, who is an absolute tremor count demon. And just a side note, if you want to run LCCB, pair her with Molar Altis, and if you want to run Zwei, pair her with T-Corp Altis. Now, let's discuss her teams. She is better off as a generalist. Now let me explain. She doesn't do much tremor or sinking application. That's why I said good, not great, or decent in the pros. Her application is immediately outclassed by pre-existing units that are Molar Ishmael and LCCB Ishmael. Ends way if you need extra damage. So no, you're better off not getting her for her respective stats teams unless you got her and don't have Molar to fill in that sinking slot. In conclusion to everything I've said, she's a nice generous unit, but we really don't do its stuff anymore. Performs mediocre in tremor sinking, and you're better off using older units who already do that job better. So no, it's not recommended to pull for her if you want to run a dedicated tremor or sinking team, since there are already better options for her. Well, unless you're a diehard Ishmael fan, go ahead, no one's judging you, except for me. Well, that's all I guess. If you have any criticism or feedback, just leave them in the comments. So, goodbye.